All praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of great millstone who rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's preaching the truth around the four corners of the earth, and truthfulness and sincerity. And well, today I'm gonna go into how this woman Omarosa has I'm going into how she has sided with Trump just a little bit, and now she seems like she wants to try to get away from her first initial stance on how she felt about Trump. So here's the video, and I'm gonna get started.
Use not only the N-word, other horrible.
Lowlife. She's a lowlife.
That was President Trump at an event in Bedminster, New Jersey. He was asked if he feels betrayed by Omarosa and replied by calling her a, quote, lowlife. That's in response to her book, which alleges the president used the N-word during production of The Apprentice. CBS News correspondent Errol Barnett has more on the accusations.
I heard this tape.
You heard the President of the United States.
The President of the United States use not only the N-word, other horrible things.
Speaking on National Public Radio about her book titled Unhinged, an insider's account of the Trump White House, Manigault Newman claims to have heard offensive recordings of President Trump from his time on the reality TV show The Apprentice. Despite her book out Tuesday showing she only heard accounts of such a tape in which Trump used the N-word, quote, multiple times throughout the show's taping during off-camera outtakes. In excerpts obtained by the Washington Post, Manigault Newman writes that President Trump is a, quote, racist, misogynist, and a bigot.
The president made a commitment. He made a promise.
It is a far cry from her time as the president's top cheerleader on African-American issue. The White House resisted efforts to stay silent on Friday, with Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders shooting back. Quote, this book is riddled with lies and false accusations.
All right, Errol Barnett is traveling with the president. He joins us now from Berkeley Heights, New Jersey. Errol, how credible are Omarosa's claims that she has heard these recordings?
Well, DeMarco, Omarosa's credibility certainly is in question. Let's keep in mind that she and President Trump first forged their relationship during her time as the supposed villain on the reality show The Apprentice, where Omarosa says she admired Donald Trump, the private citizen and business tycoon at that time, for his ability to really control a message in the media and drum up attention for whatever he chose. And, you know, Omarosa's role inside the White House was to do outreach for President Trump toward African Americans. And I can certainly remember last year at a meeting of the National Association of Black Journalists where Omarosa was invited to speak on President Trump's behalf, but she effectively was combative with the journalists that she was speaking with. And so knowing that Omarosa has a book to sell, that it's coming out next week and she'll be appearing on television tomorrow to speak more about her claims, it does raise questions as to how accurate these claims are, that she not only heard people or spoke to people who heard recordings of President Trump using offensive language during his time on that show, but as we showed you in that package there, she said to NPR that she heard the tapes herself despite not showing that in her book, according to excerpts that the Washington Post and NPR has seen. So there certainly is a credibility issue for Omarosa on this point.
Errol, does her book make any other controversial claims against the president?
Oh, certainly. There's all manner of claims in this book. One of them was that President Trump has a tanning bed in the White House, which of course CBS has not confirmed and no one else effectively has said is true. Also, she claims that at one point she led President Trump's former lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen into the Oval Office, and when she took him out of the office, she says she witnessed President Trump chewing on a piece of paper. And if you consider the climate in which this book is being released, as Michael Cohen faces charges, perhaps he's cooperating in the special counsel probe, which is investigating the president's potential obstruction of justice and collusion. All of these claims and allegations feed a suspicion that something was up and something was going on inside the White House. And it really is just this dramatic turn of events as these two former reality TV co-stars, these two former colleagues inside the White House, now appear to be at complete odds. President Trump, though, has not yet directly responded to any of Omarosa's claims.
I want to ask you about the president's time there in Bedminster. He tweeted that he had dinner with Apple CEO Tim Cook, I should say, on Friday night. Do we know any details about the nature of their conversation?
Well, the White House has not responded to our request for additional information, but we do know that Tim Cook, during an earnings call recently, an Apple earnings call, did raise the flag over the tariffs that President Trump had announced, saying that these tariffs could very well result in Apple having to increase the prices of its goods, specifically the Apple Watch. President Trump's tax cuts, but also areas of division as well.
I had a final question.
Something was going on inside.
That's it. Because I basically want to touch on that Omarosa thing. So, let's see. Alright. Okay, first scripture. Deuteronomy 28 and 37. Basically, she was going into how, how he was saying, a lot of racist things, more than likely the N-word, things of that nature. Because see, in the past, she has sided with him. She sided with him many times, and now that she has this book out, I think it could be more of a publicity stunt on her end. She wants some type of attention, from the public, so that way, anybody who's interested, they could check out her book. But yeah, I don't think it's because she may feel some type of way, but I don't think it's because she really cares. Hold on one sec. So go ahead. I'm making a vid right now. Just go ahead and do what you got to do. Francis, go ahead, okay? Alright, but yeah, okay, Deuteronomy, chapter 37, it says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb. Can you go ahead, please? Now, I'm not going to tell you again. Go to bed. Salaki. Sorry, y'all. My hard-headed cousin. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, a byword amongst all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. That's right. You can call all these different bywords, so on and so forth. Okay. Then Isaiah 13 and 14. Wait, script, oh, and she may be feeling, guilty about her first stance. So, but it just brings forth prophecy. Okay, Isaiah chapter 13, verse 14, and it shall be as a chest row, and as a sheet that no man taketh up. Then shall every man turn to his own people. Okay, so the nations, whatever nation that you're a part of, you're gonna start turning back to your, going back to your own basically. All these other nations, they're gonna be more and more close knit, okay, to each other. And for the last script, Esau is being exposed as well too, more and more. And got a word coming out. Going to Jeremiah 49 and 10. Alright. This is the Lord speaking, Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 10. But I have made Esau bare, and I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. Alright. So it's Jacob's troubles around the corner. A lot of things is gonna start popping off more and more. Okay. So repent. I just want to make this video. We're almost out of here. Okay. I think it was some fires that I was watching one of the Akim talking about fires. How it was some fires. I think in Cali, if I'm not mistaken. So lucky if I'm wrong. But yeah, a lot more judgments is gonna keep happening, man. So I'd like to give all honor and praises once again to Yahweh Shem Shai, Rukar Kodash, and Shalom to the Akim. I keep pushing the button. Almost out. Shalom. Almost out of here. Shalom.